Hi everybody, I will take you through a demonstration of relative cell referencing and absolute cell referencing. As we know, in Excel, every cell is recognized by its coordinates. For example, if you look at the cell that has been highlighted here, it is referred to as H1. The column is always precedes the row number. Now the cell below H is called H2, that is the column followed by the row number. Now let us look at the column E. The column let's look at the column D to start with. Now if you look at the formula that is in the cell D1, it says equal to sum of B1 C1. After entering the formula here, I have dragged the formulae to the rest of the cells and I take the fill function and then say down. So now let's look at the formula that is in the cell D2. It says sum B2 C2. If you look at the next one, it says sum B3 C3. So when I drag the formula into adjacent cells, either horizontal or vertical, the cell referencing will be relative. For example, if the formula is entered in the cell as B1 C1, the next one will automatically increment the cell reference as B2 C2, etc. Now let's say you have a situation where you need to calculate the percentage increase. Now let's say my increase in percentage is 10. You can see it by the highlighted column, that is multi-relay. This cell I will be referencing as C9. Now let's say I want to give the increment of 10% to all the values that is in the column E. Now let's look at the formula that is available in the cell F1. F1, I have given the formula as equal to sum of D1 into C9. C9 is 10. So the first answer is correct. D1 is 50, C9 is 10. So I have got the answer as 500. Now I want to use the same formula to the rest of the cells below F1. So what I would do is I will drag the formula and then say fill down. But if you see the answer, it shows it as 0. Why? My answer should have been 1000 in the cell F2, 1300 in cell F3, and so on. Let's look at why this would have happened. I will look at the formula that is available in the cell F2. The formula in cell F2 says equal to sum of D2 into C10. This C10 is the relative reference because in the cell F I have used the reference from C9. So when I drag C9 the system automatically uses the relative referencing and is giving it as C10, C11 and so on. But if you see the values at C10, C11 etc., it is null or 0. That is resulting in this 0. Now to avoid such a problem, we use absolute referencing. Even though I drag the formula to any range of cells, the value in a particular cell will be substituted for. Now let's see the formula in cell E. The formula in cell E is equal to sum of D1 into $C$7. I am using the value in the cell C7. In order to tell the system that it is absolute reference, I precede the column name and the row name with a $. Let's enter the formula again. In this particular cell, I want to say it is sum of D1 times, I will choose this C7. If I want to tell the system that it is the absolute reference, you press the F4 key. So the $, is automatically included. Now let us take this formula and pull it down. How do I do that? I choose the cell with the formula and drag it down and then say fill down. So now you have 10% increment given to all the values multiplied by 10 to all the values that is in the column D. Now if you change the multi-tabs value, now let's say from 10 I will change it to 12. Let's see what happens. Automatically the value in the E column changes and it applies to all the values in this particular column because it is absolute reference. The value in one cell, that is multi-abs, is being taken into consideration. The main advantage of using the absolute referencing is it is used for what if scenario. For example, you have employees where you want to increment the salary by 10% or 20%, and you can see the overall outflow to the organization by this particular increment, and then take a call whether you want to actually implement it or not. Similarly, the absolute referencing can be applied to any budget calculations. I trust I have made the point about absolute and relative referencing clear. If you have any questions, you can please contact me. Thanks. Bye.